annual Sunoco 300 at Thompson Speedway lived up to its annual billing, and the Long Island gang was on the prowl. Mike Unitsko had the dominant car, leading a big chunk of the race. Joe Mamalito, Richard Clark, and John Fortin were involved in an early race mishap. Fortin was able to continue. Tony Ferrante and Tom Baldwin posted top 10 finishes. Steve Park scored a 5th place finish. And Unitsko, well, he almost won the race. But a bad set of tires on a late race stop slowed the 21. Unitsko finished 4th, while Jeff Fuller took down the victory, his 5th of the year. Wayne Anderson lost the tour point lead to Reggie Ruggiero. Reggie finished 2nd, Anderson 10th. Now Wayne trails Ruggiero by 28 points, heading into this weekend's event at New Hampshire International Speedway. Steve Park has climbed to 4th in points, with Tony Ferrante the only other Long Islander in the top 10. And now, here's Paul Schneller. The legends were... At the beginning of the season, many called the pairing of Wayne Anderson and veteran car owner Lenny Bowler the odd couple. But what they've proven to be is a dynamic duo.
I think most people kind of thought that I couldn't live up to the legend that Lenny Bowler represents as far as having super drivers over the years. And, not really a driver that goes to the front and looks for all the fanfare, just kind of a steady guy.
How does it feel to be in the midst of this 4-point battle?
Well, it's kind of like a Cinderella deal. I think it's good for myself and the crew. We get a little recognition over the years. Kind of followed racing and devoted my whole life to it, so I feel I deserve a little bit of the recognition.
Today's Modified Tour Report is brought to you by DAC Enterprises of Westbury, Long Island's official Featherlight Trailers distributor. With 3 races left on the Featherlight Modified Tour, it came to a showdown between the Tour's all-time winningest driver, Reggie Ruggiero, and Long Islander Wayne Anderson. Anderson was behind the 8 ball, 28 points back with 3 of Ruggiero's best tracks yet to run. But Anderson surprised everyone by qualifying 4th at New Hampshire International Speedway. Wayne hung in there at the drop of the green, while Ted Christopher and Ken Woolley swapped the lead time and time again. Anderson began to fade with a soft tire early on, enabling Ruggiero to move by. A late race pit stop under caution set up the dash to the finish. Back under green, Ruggiero darts past Anderson once again. The 69 then drafts past Jeff Fuller for the lead on lap 104. Steve Park charges into the top 3 and makes his presence felt. But Fuller would fend off Park and take on Ruggiero. Fuller catches the draft of a lap car and dives past the 69 for good with 4 laps to go. Jeff takes his 6th win of the year with Ruggiero 2nd, Park 3rd, and Anderson 4th. And you just keep on racking up those tour wins.
Well, you saw this. I mean, this really wasn't skill or talent or anything. We happened to be in the right place at the right time. Beginning part of the year, we couldn't do anything right. Now it's like we can't do anything wrong, so you try to figure it out. I don't know what it is. It's a racing game, and when you're on top, it feels good.
All in all, we're happy. We're not happy. We want to win races, but we're happy to finish 2nd.
And you've been in too many point battles to even be worrying about a point championship right now, right?
I ain't worried about it. You see, I was going for the win today, and it was nothing else. We're here to win a race, and points to take care of themselves, and that's what happened today. We finished 2nd, but we did gain some points, so everything worked out.
You have 2 races left on the tour. Stafford and Thompson, 2 of Reggie's best tracks. Do you think you still have a shot at it?
Well, with a little bit of lady luck, and I got a good car under me, a good crew, and my other crew with the 15 has been supporting me, you know, as best they can, and we're going to bring that for a backup car, so it's good for the fans, and I think it'll go right down to the wire.
Now comes Stafford Motor Speedway. Anderson is 38 points back, but Wayne puts in another fine qualifying effort. He sits on the pole as the field takes the green. Anderson holds the top spot until lap 43 when Gianliti motors by. An anxious moment for Ruggiero fans on lap 63. The 69 and Rick Fuller rub wheels, and around goes Reggie. Ruggiero would actually come back and pass Anderson, but on lap 91, something goes amiss with the Auto Palace car.
We ended up having a cracked head gasket and it was shooting compression one cylinder to the other, and I was making the car skip. Just unfortunately, the motor was a fresh motor. It was running real well, and had a good race going, and a little bit of a mechanical problem, and it put you in the back.
And Anderson would capitalize on Ruggiero's misfortune. First, a wild accident in turn 3 wipes out top contenders and fellow Long Islanders Mike Unitsko and Steve Park. Then Wayne makes it 3 wide to take the lead from Charlie Pastriak. Anderson stuns Modified Country by winning Stafford and taking the Mod Tour point lead. And so it came down to this. One race, 125 laps at Thompson International Speedway's World Series of Auto Racing. Reggie Ruggiero is used to these one-race championship shootouts. He's been in 5 of them, and each time he's finished the bridesmaid. All Wayne Anderson has to do is finish 8th or better to bring the first Mod Tour crown ever to Long Island. Is it just another race for you?
Well, I'd be lying if I said that. I mean, I'm on pins and needles. It's a once-in-a-lifetime deal right now. If we could do something for ourselves in Long Island today, it would really be great.
Number 15, four driver Wayne Anderson.
You could feel the tension in the air as the green flag was thrown, and almost immediately, Ruggiero was battling the odds. First, a puff of smoke from the engine department. The transmission fluid leak was quickly resolved. And talk about too close for comfort, Charlie Pastriak spins within inches of Ruggiero. Wayne also had his hands full with the loose race car, but the cautious yet persistent Anderson pulled up to 7th. Ruggiero hung on for 3rd as Jan Leedy won. But for the first time, the Modified Tour Championship came home to Long Island.
It's a 1994 NASCAR National Modified Champion. How does it feel?
Well, it feels great. I can't wait to get to Disney World.
He deserved to win a championship this year. He won 1 race. If he didn't win the 1 race through the whole year, he didn't deserve it. But he won at Stafford. He's a true champion.
Wayne, you did Long Island proud.
Well, I hope so. There's a lot of great drivers that came from Long Island. Charlie and Jimi Hendrickson and Axel Anderson, Al D'Angelo, all those great drivers, and I hope I did them a favor today by bringing it to Long Island.
First time ever the Tour Championship comes to Long Island. You got to feel really good.
I don't think it's sank in yet, but I'm really happy about it.
Could you say this win is extra special, or you won this one for your dad?
Well, I wish you could have been here. I don't know what to say about that.
Well, Long Islanders obviously made some tracks today. Mike Iwanitsko, you finished 2nd.
I'm happy with 2nd. I'm extremely happy for Wayne. He's bringing a championship back to Long Island. Hopefully between me, him, Steve, and Tommy Braun, we could keep it there for a couple of years.
The road to good car maintenance is paved with faulty parts, lame excuses, and bad advice that push your patience and wallet to the limit. Tired of traveling the long and winding road? Head straight to All Pro for quality parts, expert advice, and great prices.
All Pro Auto Parts is now open at 11 locations across Long Island. Quality parts and low prices only at All Pro.
So don't hit the road with just anybody. Rely on the auto parts specialist at All Pro.
Once a year, we get a chance to see Long Island.
Wayne Anderson shocked the racing masses during the winter. Just months after winning the Mod Tour Championship, he split with legendary car owner Len Bowler to return to his family-owned team.
Len was a great guy, and he put a good car under me, but I had promised my guys I would go back to my own team after trying that for a year. I got some good dedicated help and put in a lot of effort, and we're looking forward to a repeat.
And in this case, change may be good. Anderson has 2 new cars. Personally, I would like to get behind the wheel of this car. And a new sponsor. According to him, that's a winning combination.
We got this brand new Spafco Art Barry car, and we have another chassis being built, so we got an all-out effort.
It's kind of like the Apollo-Rocky thing, you know. Apollo Creed had the title. Rocky had, what, the Eye of the Tiger, so, you know, are you Apollo or Rocky this year?
I'm going to try to be Rocky.
Okay, yeah. Stephen Park definitely has his eyes on the prize, and fans say he's the one to watch this year. But he's also caused quite a shakeup in the mod world. He's left TNG, the team he put on the map, for Sunoco Shiba Racing, which some are calling the dream team. He says the move was a must to shift his career into high gear.
TNG was, you know, really great people, and we had 2 great years together, and you know, it was just really time for Steve Park to move on and try to move into you know, a winning combination and winning consistently every week. And I think the combination that we have now with Shiba Racing is the combination we need to win all the time.
Tom Baldwin is filling the TNG driver's seat this year. This is the first time he isn't heading up his own team on the tour. Skeptics say for that reason, it may not be a match made in racing heaven.
We've always had our own team, and I did everything, and it's to the point now where you really can't fit that into your day. So now I can relax a little more and just concentrate on driving the car. This team came together. The third lap I sat in a race car. Everybody just, it was like we've been racing together for 20 years already, so it's really nice.
Well, you know, this whole back of the grandstand section is the Tom Baldwin section. So when you get out there, they're going to be screaming for you.
I certainly hope so.
Listen for them, because they're all you. Good. They're all for you.
Mike Iwanitzko is the only member of the Long Island gang that hasn't seen any real shakeups this year. He returns with veteran car owner Art Barry. But for various reasons, Iwanitzko has never completed a full tour schedule.
We had good runs last year. I had a little accident after the Sizzler that wasn't involved with racing, and we lost a lot of time and points in the middle of the season there, so I was better. Ended up breaking my arm last year.
Right.
And as long as I can stay healthy, I think we'll be there at the end.
And let's not forget Tony Ferrante. He's proven he's steady, but is that enough to win on the tour?
This year we're going to try, try to do a little more bumping and be a little more aggressive, try to lead some more races, and, just hope the points will follow. Let the points fall in, you know what I mean? But we've got to be a little more aggressive this year, and that's how we're going to start the season.
For Long Island Trackside, I'm Jen Kranz.
The season opener for the Montour was at the Thompson International Speedway, and already the Long Island gang was making its presence felt. 3 out of the top 4 qualifiers were from Long Island. Today's Modified Tour Report is brought to you by DAC Enterprises of Westbury, Long Island's official Featherlight Trailers distributor. The Montour season wasn't even a lap old when the first caution flag appeared. On the restart, Tony Hirschman darts in front of Tom Baldwin for the lead. Steve Park inherits the top spot when Hirschman pits on lap 41. Mike Iwanitzko's day turns sour on lap 61. He is forced to pit with a flat tire and loses a lap. Tony Ferrante struggled with the setup all day, as did Joe Mamalito. Rick Fuller muscles his way around Park for the lead midway through the race. On lap 72, Ed Flemke brought out a well-timed caution for the leaders. All the top runners came in for fresh tires. Out of nowhere comes Tommy Cravino. He takes the low side past leader Bobby G. Steve Park squeezes his way back into the top 5, but no further on a bad set of tires. Tom Baldwin was just behind the Sunoco team in 6th.
The deal was the right rear shock went bad, and the car was bouncing around like an old Buick, so I really couldn't be super aggressive getting in, so we just hung in there.
Also just hanging in there was the champ Wayne Anderson. He ended up 8th after losing his tires. But Cravino was unstoppable. The Hoosier crew was jumping for joy as the 19-year-old Tommy Cravino became the youngest driver ever to take a checker in a Mod Tour event.
Today's cars are a technological...
Pastriak tries to make it 3 wide. The cars touch, and around goes Reggie Ruggiero into the wall. Iwanitzko, Worley, and now Rick Fuller exchanged the top spot until the leaders pitted during a caution on lap 64. A surprising run by Bob Park. He found himself 2nd behind Jan Leedy after the leaders pitted. A couple laps later, Tom Baldwin's fine run ended when he was collected in a crash in turn 2. Iwanitzko and Fuller became the top duo once again when they drafted by Pastriak on lap 90. Worley then moved by Fuller for 2nd, but Iwanitzko had opened up quite a lead. A late race caution set up an 8-lap dash for the cash. Iwanitzko and Worley brought the fans to their feet with side-by-side racing action, but the Long Islander just edged the Virginian at the finish line.
It's definitely my biggest win. We won it down in Martinsville, we won the Sizzler last year, but to win here, this is where the big boys play.
We were a little disappointed last week up with Thompson, but now we're back ready to race again.
The Modified Tour was ready to race again last weekend when it visited the Stafford Motor Speedway. Reggie Ruggiero grabbed the lead at the start. Misfortune struck again for the Sunoco Shiba team. On the 5th lap fast qualifier, Steve Park was already on pit row.
Basically, the Vulcan Industries Sunoco Chevy lost a belt, and it must have got tangled up in all the other belts and took all the other belts off, and we were afraid that it might have damaged the engine, so we didn't really want to take a chance after being about 5 laps down trying to fix it.
The race did not start off on the right note for any of the Long Island gang. Tom Baldwin gets nailed by the 47 of Jack Bateman, and around goes the Richmond Raceway Chevy on lap 41. Mike Unitsko was running strong again, but on lap 62 he's involved in a massive pileup in turn 2. Long Islanders Tony Ferrante and Wayne Anderson are also damaged in the tangle. All are able to continue, and Anderson wound up 9th. Sats Worley Motors by Ruggiero to take the lead on the 70th circuit. Ruggiero pitted just laps later. The rest of the leaders made their stops under caution on lap 130. The latter pit stops proved to be a good move because Ruggiero was blown away by those cars. Mike Unitsko was on the attack again. He pulled alongside leader Rick Fuller, and after battling side by side for several laps, the 21 took the lead with just 23 laps to go. Unitsko then cruised to the checker for his second straight win on the tour and second consecutive Spring Sizzler victory.
I can't believe I'm here. You know, we talked about winning the 2 in a row, and we got tangled up a little bit early, and we came out after the pit stop, and there was a lot of good cars in front of us. Man, I got my work cut out for me, but the car was just awesome up on top.
You know, today he had a better car. I couldn't hold him up. It was 5 to go, 8 to go. Well, you know, you can get pretty wide, but geez, it was like 25 to go, I think it was, and he just had a fast race car.
The official apparel of Long Island Trackside is provided by Mr. Motorsports of Riverhead. All your NASCAR apparel is just minutes away from the raceplay.
Paul Spencer, it was clear sailing for Stefanik, who beat Stub Fadden and Brian Ross to the finish line.
Today's Pit Tip is brought to you by Oval Speed Unlimited. The modified tour made a stop at Nazareth International Speedway in Pennsylvania last Sunday. Long Islander Steve Park made his presence felt early, taking over the top spot from Ted Christopher on lap 31. But Park's troubled season continued. The Sunoco team is out on lap 61 with ignition problems. Defending tour champ Wayne Anderson's day ended in a big wreck in turn 4 on lap 49. Mike Unitsko's string of victories stopped at 2. He crossed the line in 6th. After struggling early, Tom Baldwin drove the Richmond Raceway Chevy to a 9th place finish. Tony Ferrante scored his first top 10 finish of the year, while Joe Mamalito and Bob Park struggled. In the final laps, Tim Connolly and Tony Hirschman swapped the lead several times, but it was Hirschman who ended up driving into victory lane. Hirschman's first win for car owner Len Bowler bolted him to the top of the point heap. Mike Unitsko is only 14 points behind Hirschman in 3rd. Tom Baldwin has turned some heads with his new team. He's 7th in points. Out of the top 10 in points is Long Island's top 3 point chasers from a season ago: Tony Ferrante, defending champ Wayne Anderson, and Steve Park. A sole Long Islander made the field for the Meridian Advantage 200 Busch Grand National race at Nazareth Speedway. Ron Field qualified 38th, but steadily worked his way through the field. At the finish, the rookie made quite an impression with the 13th place finish. After blowing by pole sitter David Green, Tim